And I end up hurting her anyway. And so now she's always going to view me as this person that really didn't love her when I did. And what a lot of people don't realize is that when you truly do love somebody, when you truly do care for somebody, the best thing you can do for them is to leave them be. Sometimes that's the best thing you can do. Because I know that if I keep staying in your life much longer than I should, I'm going to end up doing more damage than good.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Quite literally, Will Tidwell, a younger gentleman.
I wish I didn't have this big heart. People just do nothing but hurt me. Anybody can dream the dream. Anybody can have a goal, but see,
You're gonna be a neighborhood hero. You just keep shining, young king.
Hey, what's going on, man? This is Will Z Tidwell with SpeakUPZee, and you are now tuned in to another episode of SpeakUPZee, the podcast. Man, the podcast where we talk about real things with real people. Everything from life to business to mental health and everything else in between. I know I've been gone for a few weeks, man. I've been on the road. I've been traveling. I got some really special episodes that I'm going to be dropping for y'all really soon, so y'all can kind of see me in that element and hear me speaking, kind of like what I've been posting lately. There's so many special things coming. But I haven't been able to catch up with my team as much as I want to. But I said I'm still going to show up and do this show, even if it's just me solo, just like we was in the trenches. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to show up and I wanted to be present, man. And we're going to use today's episode as just a vent session. You know, a lot been going on in my life. A lot been going on in life in general. And, I just want to touch on those things. I want to talk about those things. I want to address some things. I just want to get some things off my chest. And I didn't write any notes. I didn't write any talking points. I'm just going to kind of let it come all out. And just end up where we end up. Before we get into today's show, man, let's do a quick prayer and just thank God for being here and ask that he can give us the strength and the spirit to guide this conversation and let everything come out of me organically and authentically, and that it can touch life into somebody else. And then we'll just go from there. All right. God, I just want to thank you so much, man, for another day of life and all that you do for me day in and day out, man. I'm always providing for me, always making a way. God, even when I always deserve it. God, I ask you can just be present in this space and in this room and in this conversation here today, God. Again, just guide the conversation, God. Let it come all out of me in the most authentic way possible, God. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to say it, but I know with you that it'll get done and it'll touch somebody's life. It'll help somebody's life because somebody is dealing with something right now that only you can help with. God, we just need you. God, people are hurting. People are having some dark days. People are feeling so lonely right now. They're feeling like nobody understands them. So God, I just ask that you can just grab them by the hand and walk with them and remind them that everything is going to be okay. Bring that type of peace to their heart that we only know that you can bring, that only you can give, that only you can provide. Because we everything with you. And we nothing without you. And in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. I almost dropped a tear, man. And y'all, your boy been going through it, y'all. I haven't been perfect. I made some mistakes for sure. Recently got out of a very long relationship with an amazing woman. But we just grew apart, you know? And I think one of the most frustrating things in life sometimes is that when you know that you may have an amazing person in your life, that they may be a great person, that they're going to be a great wife or they're going to be a great husband, but they may not just be the person for you. And it's hard when you feel like you've played such an instrumental role in somebody's life in helping them become the person that they've become, in helping them become the amazing person that they are. Not saying that you're responsible for it or that you're the sole reason for them being who they are, but you've been with them so long, you've been attached to them so long, you've been there through so much with them that you've seen them grow into this amazing person. That you want to be with them. Like you want to see the fruits of that labor. But I think one of the hardest conversations that you ever gonna have to have with yourself is to be real and say, even though we didn't been through everything we didn't been through together, even though we didn't had some amazing days, some beautiful days, even though we didn't have some rough days, even though we didn't have some days where we didn't feel like we was gonna make it anyway. Are you willing to be real with yourself and say that I need to let you go, because if I keep holding on to you, not only am I holding you back from becoming everything you were meant to be, but I'm also holding you back from the person that you were meant to be with. And it's just not me. Are you willing to do that? And to be honest, y'all, for a long time, I wasn't. I wasn't willing to do that. I wasn't willing to be real with myself and say that as much as I love you, as much as I care about you, as much as I never want to see you hurt, I need to walk away. Because what happens, y'all, is that sometimes we can get so hell-bent on trying not to hurt the people that we love and trying to make sure that the people that we love are happy, that we end up just hurting ourselves. That we end up just throwing our own happiness to the wayside. And then 6 months go by, and 9 months go by, and another year goes by, and then you wondering why you starting to feel so miserable in your life. Like where your life is starting to feel so heavy. It is not because you hate that person. It's not because they're not necessarily a good person. It's because you know in your heart of hearts that this is not the person that you're supposed to be with anymore. But we try to run from that. We try to ignore that. But why do we do that? Why do we stay in situations with certain people, or even in certain things, much longer than we should? And with a question like that, that's such a jam-packed question that I don't think there's just a one answer that fits all, because everybody's situation is so different. Because there's so many different reasons why so many people stay with certain people or in certain situations much longer than they should. And a lot of times it's just the comfortability of it. Like we get so used to that routine of seeing this person, talking to this person, being with this person, knowing how this person is, knowing their habits, knowing their routine, that we don't want to break apart from that. We don't want to have to go through that all over again. So we just get comfortable. For me personally, I love that person so much that every time she told me that we could figure it out, that we could talk through it, that we could find a way to get past whatever we were dealing with, that one day I could be happy again. I believe that. And I gave into that even though I knew that I should have left her alone. And so what ended up happening is I stayed in that situation much longer than I should have. And I made decisions that I shouldn't have made. And I ended up hurting her anyway. And so now she's always going to view me as this person that really didn't love her when I did. And what a lot of people don't realize is that when you truly do love somebody, when you truly do care for somebody, the best thing you can do for them is to leave them be. Sometimes that's the best thing you can do. Because I know that if I keep staying in your life much longer than I should, I'm going to end up doing more damage than good. But again, because of the comfortability. Because we don't want to let them down. Because we don't want to see them crying. We don't want to see them hurt. Oh, this is another one. Because of the in-laws. Because her father loved me so much. My mom loved her so much that every time I went around my mom, how's so-and-so doing? Every time she went around her dad, hey, have you talked to Will today? And what it does in the back of your mind is say, you know what? Maybe I should keep fighting for this. Maybe I should give it another chance. And you so busy trying to make them happy, trying to please them, trying to keep up this facade, trying to prove how strong you are, that you don't even realize how miserable it's making you. And that's what I did. And it got to a point where I didn't even know who I was anymore. Like, have you ever done that? Have you ever got so invested into somebody or into something and just threw your all into it to the point where when you finally like looked up and took a breath, you didn't even know who you were anymore. Like, you were so out of touch with yourself, you forgot what made you happy. You forgot what brought you peace. You forgot what brought you joy. Because when you love hard. And the reason I knew I needed to leave when I tried to leave is because I felt like I couldn't give it my all anymore. That happiness and that peace I had in the beginning, it wasn't there. But because I didn't want to see that person hurt, I ignored the signs. I said, I'll be all right. And isn't that what we do a lot of times? We tell ourselves, I'll be okay. I'll be happy one day again. I'll be whole one day again. One day I'll know what it feels like to smile again. All for the sacrifice of making sure that the people we love get to smile again. And as noble as that is, sometimes it's unfair. Sometimes it's unfair to you. It's unfair to your heart. It's unfair to that person too. Because when you start to do that, that person that you're talking about doing it for, they can notice that you're changing. They can notice that you're not the same person. But you keep trying to pretend that you are. And you just become more and more miserable. And that was me. But let me tell y'all this. Because I made those mistakes with her, because I stayed much longer than I should have, because I wasn't honest and I was a coward and I retreated every time when I should have stood on business about how I felt, I did wrong by her. I talked to other women. I was flirting with other people. I was doing stuff with other people that I shouldn't have just been doing. And karma's been kicking my ass for that. And the beautiful thing about karma is that whether you want to admit it or not, when you know you've done wrong in this world, even if you feel like you have a valid reason for what you did, I feel like the reason why I did what I did, I don't necessarily say that it's valid, but I know why I did it. That doesn't make it right. But when you know you didn't put some wrong out into the world, the realest conversation that you could ever have with yourself is to be real enough to say that I know I put that into the world, and I know at some point that wrong that I did, man, it's coming back to see me. I got to deal with the consequences of that at some point in my life. And so I'm starting to even get to this headspace in my life, like where certain things happen to me. I won't say that it doesn't bother me because I'm still human. It's still frustrating. It still hurts. It's still hard. But sometimes I just say, you know what? I deserve that. You know what? That's probably life getting back at me for what I did to so and so. And a lot of times, the crazy part about it, what I'm learning about karma and what I'm learning about accepting your karma and what I'm learning about accepting when you've done wrong by people and when you put wrong into the world is that a lot of times the only reason people put wrong out into the world and do the things they do, and this doesn't justify it, but what I'm saying is the reason why a lot of times people do the things that they do is not because they necessarily wanted to. It's because they're searching for something. Get ready to tap into the brilliance of Esquire Writing Media. Man, your ultimate friend when it comes to unleashing the creativity within you and elevating both your personal and your business brand. Everything from crafting compelling stories, content creation, or even venturing into this world of podcasting and speaking in such a dynamic way. Man, Esquire can take care of you. Whether you're a creative genius, building a brand, or just building your own platform, let Esquire Writing Media be the driving force that sets you apart. Man, be sure to follow us at SpeakUPZee.com/Esquire, or you can learn more and shoot us a text at 469-851-7235. We love y'all, man. Now back to the episode. Peace. Like for me, I was searching for peace. I was searching for happiness. But where I went wrong about it is that I was searching for that peace and that happiness in all the wrong places. I was searching for it in women. I was searching for it in the weed I smoke. I was searching for it in my work. I was searching for it in all these things, and I still do. See, this is the thing. I'm not talking about this like I've overcome these things. These are things that I still deal with. That's the problem, is that too many people get onto these platforms and they talk about these things like they overcome it. No, I'm still battling it. But I was searching for those things in all the wrong places and all the wrong people, and I wonder why I never found it. Isn't that what we do? We're yearning for something so bad. And then when we finally think we got what we've been wanting, we wonder why we're still unhappy. Why? Because that was never what you needed. But a lot of times we're searching for something. That's why that karma comes to visit us. Because we know that when we put wrong into the world, man, it's coming back. It's coming. Whether you want to admit it or not, it's coming back to get you. You can try to dip it and dodge it and try to make up for those wrongs that you did, and that's a great thing to admit that you know you did something wrong and you want to make it right. But at the end of the day, that's still coming back to see you. And not only are we searching for something when we put a lot of wrong into the world, a lot of times we're just trying to survive. We're just trying to make a way. And so the way life been whooping my ass, I don't even get mad anymore. I just kind of surrender. Because I know that everything that I'm going through, there's such a beautiful lesson attached to it. But the difference is when we gonna slow down long enough to stop bumping our head so we can actually learn the lesson that's attached to it. When are we gonna actually sit in the pain long enough to understand why God put us through what He put us through? When are we gonna slow down long enough to actually listen to His voice and understand where He's coming from? Or is He? Or how many times are we gonna have to go through the same test before we finally pass it? But the thing about these tests that we going through, that God is putting us through, is that we got the answers. But we don't like the answers that we get. So we just keep going through the same shit over and over again. We keep doing the same shit over and over again, just with new people, with different faces, at different times, in different places. But it's the same stuff. And that's where I'm at right now. Like, I just feel like I'm repeating the same stuff in my life that I went through at 21. I'm dealing with at 27. Same thing I dealt with at 19, I'm dealing with at 27. And at some point, you got to just sit back. At some point, right? Like, you finally got to just sit back and say, how many more times before you just get it? And to be honest, I don't know. Because in the moment, man, sometimes my flesh can be so weak. I can be so impulsive. I don't even think about the consequences. And then by the time you do, like, you're already suffering for the consequences. Like, the consequences have already set in by the time you realize what you've done. And that sucks. And what eats me up the most is that good, genuine people, like the woman I'm talking about, they're so hard to find. She was a lot of things, but she was a good person. She was beautiful inside and out, character and all. Well, she had her flaws, but she was genuine though, right? She was loyal, right? She had your back. And those type of people are so rare. Like, too many of them just don't exist anymore. Because so many people have dealt with people like me that have put them through things and that have hurt them, that have made them question why they are being so loyal to motherfuckers that's not loyal to them, to where they stop being that. And they think that being cold-hearted and being stoic and being stone-faced and being hard is the way that they should live their life, because they feel like that's the only way that they can protect themselves. There's so many people that live their life like that. And so the suck part of it all is that when you do have good, genuine people in your life, why are they always the ones that get hurt the most? Why are they the ones that we take advantage of? Why are they the ones that always get the short end of the stick? Why are they the ones that we don't try to protect with every part of our body? And I'll tell you why that is. It's because we think that because they're so genuine and good-hearted, we think that they'll never leave. We think that they'll always forgive us. But what happens when they finally get fed up? And I don't want anything to do with you anymore. What do you do then? How do you cope with it then? What happens when they finally cut off that access and you can't even contact them anymore? Or what's even worse is that what if they give you another chance, but they're no longer the same person that they were before you hurt them, before you took them for granted? And you wondering why they changed, and you wondering if they ever going to get back to that type of person that they were before. That's even worse. It's because it's like, I'm looking at the same person. You have the same name. You're the same person that I love, but you're acting different. And I know exactly why. It's because I did something to you where I can't get the same version of you twice. That hurts even more. I think that hurts even more than them actually leaving you and cutting you off is when they stay and they never act the same with you. They never love you the same. They never talk to you the same. They never give you the same energy. They never open up to you in a way like they did before. Like it's always going to be this wall between you and them that never existed before. Because you took advantage of the genuineness of who they were. Because I took advantage of the genuineness of who they were. I thought I could get away with it. So yeah, even though I was unhappy and I should have left, I should have stood on what I said when I tried to break up. That doesn't give me an excuse for what I did. Because at the end of the day, she didn't do that to me. And that's just been eating me up, man. It's just been eating me up. And I just trust my village and I trust y'all that I can just talk about stuff like that with y'all and y'all just won't judge me. And maybe somebody else is dealing with this. Maybe from a woman's perspective, somebody's done these things to you, or maybe you've done it to somebody else, or a man, you've done it to somebody, or somebody's done it to you. I don't know. I don't know your situation. But whoever you are, I just hope this venting session helped. Because if nothing else, you've helped me just by listening. I just want y'all to know how much I love y'all. Just thank y'all for listening. Man, be sure to like and subscribe to this channel, to this video, to this audio platform, wherever you're listening, however you're listening. And just until next time, man, I love y'all. And we'll be back. And close another episode of SpeakUPZee, the podcast, man. Peace. Hey, what's up? This is Will Z Tidwell with SpeakUPZee. And I just want to take a quick second just to thank you for tuning in to this latest episode of SpeakUPZee, the podcast. And my only goal with this platform is to motivate you, inspire you, and educate you around all things life, business, and mental health, whether it's myself or me bringing on a special guest. So I just want to thank you guys for tuning in. We don't ask for any type of monetary gains or anything like that. The best thing you could do for us is just like and subscribe to the channel. Until next week, we'll see y'all later. Peace.